The Allagash Abductions. The canoe drifted silently on the black water of Eagle Lake when the light appeared overhead. Not a star, not a plane. Something massive, and it was watching them. It didn't move like anything natural. It just hovered there, growing brighter, completely silent. Chuck Rack was the first to break the silence. What the hell is that thing?
The four friends, twin brothers Jim and Jack Weiner, Chuck Rack and Charlie Foltz, were on a 2-week canoe trip deep in the Allagash wilderness of Maine. August 1976. Just 4 art students looking for adventure. They started paddling hard toward shore. The big bonfire they had left burning should have guided them home. But the light kept following. The light grew brighter, blinding. Then everything went white. When they regained awareness, they were back at their campsite. The massive bonfire they had built was now just glowing embers, as if several hours had simply vanished. They barely spoke about what happened that night. They packed up and tried to forget it ever occurred. Years passed. Then the nightmares began. Strange scars appeared on their bodies that they couldn't explain. By 1988, the nightmares had become unbearable. Jim Weiner finally convinced the others to undergo regressive hypnosis. Under hypnosis, each man was questioned separately. What they described next was identical. They remembered being lifted straight out of the canoe, floating upward into a tube of swirling, brilliant light. Inside the craft, the walls were curved and metallic. Strange symbols glowed faintly on every surface. The beings were thin, gray-skinned, with large, black, almond-shaped eyes that seemed to look straight through them. They were stripped of their clothes and placed on cold metal tables. The examination had begun. Instruments probed their bodies. Samples were taken from their skin, their blood, even their semen. One of the men remembered a curved panel being pressed against his chest. It felt like it was scraping information directly from his body. The beings communicated without speaking. Their thoughts flooded the men's minds like cold whispers. Then, just as suddenly as it began, they were returned to the canoe. The light was gone. The 4 men sat in silence as they paddled back to shore. None of them could explain the missing hours. That night, around the dying campfire, they barely spoke, each one hoping the others would say it was all a dream. They packed up the next morning and left the Allagash wilderness. The trip that was supposed to be an adventure had become something else entirely. For years, they tried to forget. They went back to their lives as art students and painters. Then, the nightmares started coming more frequently. Vivid, terrifying, impossible to ignore. All 4 men passed multiple polygraph tests. Their drawings of the beings and the craft matched perfectly. 3 of them still stand by every detail to this day. The 4th has chosen to distance himself from the memory. The Allagash Abductions remain one of the most well-documented cases of missing time and alien contact in history. 4 ordinary young men went camping in the Maine wilderness and came back forever changed. What really happened on Eagle Lake that August night in 1976? And if it happened to them, how can we be sure it hasn't already happened to someone else?
Thank you for listening. Please consider subscribing to my channel for more terrifying tales coming weekly. If you enjoyed this story, I have many more available in paperback worldwide on Amazon, Beyond the Campsite and Beyond the Campsite 2, A Trail Too Far.